Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your nice 3-day weekend. It's time to get back to the grind. It's your boy, Mr. Noland. Today we're going to be talking about exponents. So this is the new unit we're going to go into. Now, in my honest opinion, I don't think this next unit is that hard. We're going to be dealing with exponents, prime factorization, order of operations. Y'all might know it as PEMDAS. And we have a test coming up in, not this week, but next week. So, yep, let's go ahead and get started with our Exponents Notes. What are they and how do we use them? What are exponents? Exponents represent expressions that repeat in numbers like, or for example, 5 times 5 times 5. Exponents do not change the value of the expression. Exponents simplify. I'm going to skip over this first dot, so leave this first dot alone. Let's look at the second dot. A number is in exponential form. When it is written with a base and an exponent. So, for example, exponential form would be 2 to the 4th power. Your base would be the 2. The 4 is your exponent. A number is in factor form when it is written with the factors listed out, separated by multiplication signs. So I'm going to go back to the example. We have 2 to the 4th. So I'm going to have the base number 2, and I'm going to write it out 4 times. So the factored form would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Notice my base number 2, and it is written 4 times. There it is. So exponential form, factor form. Now, a number is in standard form or simplest form. You'll hear both words. When the factors are multiplied. So I'm gonna keep this nice and simple. Your standard form or your simplest form, it's like your final answer type thing. If it's asking for standard or simplest form, it's just your numbers multiplied out. So for example, 2 to the 4th power, exponential form. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is our factor form. Now our simplest form, let's multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. That would be your simplest form or your standard form, whichever way you want to call it. Now let's look at this example. You'll see this big 7 right here, how it's on the bottom. That's known as our base. The very number on top of it, this 3, that's known as our exponent. And now right here, exponential form. Well, that's equal to your factored form. which is equal to Your standard form or simplest form. Some of you are like, I don't get this, I'm lost. You will see some examples here briefly, so trust me, it will get easier as we go on. Exponential form. So let's do the example. 10 to the power of 1. You would read it as 10 to the first power. Well, your factored form is, what is your base? Well, it's 10. How many 10s should you have? 1. Well, so your standard form here is also just 10. Nice and easy there. Okay, let's look at the next one. Let's say we have 10 to the second power. So that is also known as 10 squared. Or, like I just said a minute ago, 10 to the second power. Now your factored form, what is your base? It's the big number. In this case, it's the 10. How many 10s should I have? 2 of them. Look there. There's your 2 10s. Well, what is 10 times 10? Well, if I give you 10 $10 bills, you get yourself a Benjamin $100 bill. Alright, let's go and flip to the back side. Now let's say I have one. Oh, look, we just did this example on the front. I'm a genius. Let's say we have 10 to the 4th power. So you read it as, again, I'm sorry, I just said 10 to the 4th power. I'm sorry. 2 to the 4th power. 2 to the 4th power. So you read it as 2 to the 4th power. What's your base? Anybody? Good, your base is the smaller, or the bigger number here off to the side. You have 2 of them. What a brain fart. Let's start this again. 2 to the 4th power. You read it as 2 to the 4th power. What is your base? Your base is right here. It's the 2. How many 2s should I have? I should have 4 of them. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. There's your factored form. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Your exponential form is equal to your factored form, and it's equal to your standard or simplest form. All 3 of these represent the same exact answer. Now let's say I have this example. How would you read that? That would be 5 to the 3rd power. What is your base? Good, your base is 5. And how many 5s should I have? 3 of them. So that's 5 times 5 times 5. Well, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5. Well, guys, if you have 5 quarters, that is $1.25, right? Well, let's just take out the decimal. You have 125. Woo! All right. Now let's do some practice here. Now it says write 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 in exponential form. Well, guys, what number is repeating here? Well, that's your 5. That would be your base. How many times is it repeating? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is your exponent. So I'm going to go and label this just so we remember. Base, exponent. Write 7 to the power of 3 in factored form. What is your base? Your base is the 7. How many times do you need to write it? 3 times. So please don't say 7 times 3 and you get 21. That's not how exponents work. Okay? You have the number 7. That's your base. You have to write it 3 times. 7 times 7 times 7. What is 3 to the 4th in standard/simplest form? Well, I like to make this easier on myself, so I'm going to start by taking the exponential form and turning it into factored form, just like we did here. So that means my base is 3, and I have to write it 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Now, growing up, I was like some kids and did 3 times 4 and get 12. That's not how it works. That's why I did the extra step of writing it from exponential form to factored form. Now, let's go ahead and do our math. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. So your standard or simplest form is just 81. Alright guys, there's 3 problems left, 4, 5, and 6. I would like for you to try it on your own. I may come back with another video on exponents that I'll post later. Alright guys, have a good day. Bye.